An ancient wonder of the world reimagined.
All this new technology is unlocking all their secrets.
New satellite tech changes the world.
Who knows how many more people we might have lost?
A bizarre phenomenon revealed from above.
Something very weird is going on here.
Aerial tech reaches around the globe.
It's not just
Aerial technologies, from drones to satellites, are unlocking the startling secrets of our planet and revealing its mysteries. This unique view from above is changing the way we see the world and is shining new light on places we thought we knew. In northern Egypt, near modern-day Giza, lie monuments that have sparked fascination for millennia.
There has never been anything like it before or since.
You'd think by now we'd know everything there is to know about the pyramids, but you'd be wrong.
The whole complex covers an astonishing 160 square kilometers. In the middle are the three main pyramids. The biggest one of them all, the Great Pyramid, is over 138 meters high. For thousands of years, they have inspired awe. When seen from above, new unsolved mysteries are revealed.
They are so majestic and yet they're so mysterious, and we'll never stop trying to decipher exactly what they mean.
Why were they built here?
Because they're such a familiar part of the landscape, it's as if they've always been here. It's easy to forget there must have been a reason why they were built in the first place.
What mysteries are hidden in the way they are laid out in the desert?
Is it random? Or is there some kind of design? Something we've been missing for thousands of years?
And what can they reveal about an ancient empire and a forgotten pharaoh?
We have the ability to use technology to look at things like we've never seen them before, then go back in time and study these people from thousands of years ago.
For historians, it's the gift that just keeps on giving.
The pyramids of Giza have stood for more than 4,500 years.
There were 7 wonders of the ancient world. The pyramids are all that's left.
The Great Pyramid was the tallest structure in the world for millennia.
It's incredible to think that you could fit 6 Empire State Buildings in its base, and you'd still have room left over.
When you try to picture how they were built with the technology of that day, it just blows your mind.
And it all began with the vision of one mysterious man.
You'd think it would be for someone we'd all heard of before, but it wasn't.
the Great Pyramid was built for a lesser-known pharaoh named Khufu.
Most pharaohs left behind several great statues, but just a handful of small objects remain, which are representations of him.
Despite the complete lack of records, he commissioned one of the greatest monuments ever built by mankind.
And left behind unanswered questions about its grand design.
A precise date has never been determined, but the Great Pyramids date from about 2600 BC.
Even the ancient Egyptians thought the pyramids were ancient.
The Egyptian Empire lasted almost 3,000 years. We have nothing to compare that with. Rome lasted for almost 1,000 years. The US has only been around for 250.
Even for the ancient Egyptians, these structures held secret mysteries.
King Tut was over 1,000 years later, and we can safely say that the boy king would have thought of the pyramids as old, the same way we look at, say, the Colosseum in Rome.
So why was this mysterious structure built in the first place, and how?
The Great Pyramid of Giza alone has 2.3 million blocks weighing 6.5 million tons. It's huge.
How do you move those, and how do you line them up and build something so perfect out of those?
Could the location of the pyramids provide a clue to the mystery?
You see all these images of the pyramids looking like they're out in the middle of nowhere in the desert.
Now, first off, it's not in the middle of nowhere as it often seems when you see pictures.
In fact, they're a stone's throw from the cities of Giza and Cairo.
Cairo was not here in 2600 BC, but the ancient city of Memphis was.
Memphis was the royal residence and capital of ancient Egypt under the pharaoh Khufu. Does the lost city of Memphis hold the key to why the pyramids were built here?
On the banks of the Nile, this was not a dry, remote desert, but a bustling seaport.
From above, archaeologists have discovered that what is now dry desert was once a vast series of canals, waterways, and harbors. And it's believed this is how the huge stone blocks may have been transported.
It's possible that all this water also served to wet the sand, which helped lubricate the ground and move those stones across the desert.
Researchers now think the stones were moved by hand, possibly on wooden rollers, but even that is disputed.
Water played a huge role, and you don't think of water because it's the desert.
But there's another mystery. Not just how they were built, but who built them.
I think a lot of people have this image in their mind of enslaved people under a whip dragging these stones through the desert.
But many researchers now believe the opposite to be true.
The pyramids were not built by slaves. To be part of their construction was a religious honor.
The effort was the crowning achievement of an empire. But why build such a monument for Khufu?
To answer that, you need to understand how the people of ancient Egypt saw the pharaohs. They were the rulers, but they were also living gods.
And their pyramids were built as royal tombs.
The Egyptians believed that their rulers entered the afterlife through the pyramids. Everything that they needed was buried with them.
This is an elaborate and huge masterpiece, frankly.
Inside, the pyramid is mostly stone, but at its core are two royal chambers, one for the queen and one for the king, with the pharaohs being higher and more elaborate.
The chambers are connected by these tunnels, which are marvels of engineering in their own right.
Khufu's tomb was built first, followed by his sons and grandsons, forming an almost perfect straight line. But why bury the pharaohs in pyramids?
There's a lot more going on here. You just need to dig a little deeper.
A clue to the importance of the pyramid shape lies 500 kilometers south in the Valley of the Kings.
This is a place where, so far, we've discovered 63 tombs created over 500 years.
Built 1,000 years after Khufu, none of these tombs is in the shape of a pyramid. Why?
The pyramids were these great, impressive monuments, but to anybody that would steal stuff, they were also like a giant beacon saying, "This is where the treasure is."
Think about it. You put millions of dollars worth of gold in the largest, most visible buildings on planet Earth. It's gonna get robbed.
100 years later, 1,000 years later, 2,000 years later, it doesn't matter that the pharaoh was a living god. Eventually, people are going to take stuff, and they did.
These pyramid tombs were robbed and stolen from so frequently that the priests moved their tombs to the Valley of the Kings, where, of course, King Tut was famously found.
But the Valley of the Kings hides a clue in plain sight that reveals how important the pyramid shape was to the Egyptians.
In a way, the Valley of the Kings does have a pyramid. On the southwest side, you have the peak of El Qurn. And when you look up at it from the valley, it looks just like a pyramid. I don't think that's a coincidence.
There's a reason the pyramid was a symbol of the pharaohs. It represents Amun-Ra, the sun god. Its sloped sides evoke rays of light falling on the earth. And this connection to the sun could be the key to unlocking Khufu's grand plan.
This was the crowning achievement of an empire. Nothing was left to chance. Everything was done with a purpose.
One big ongoing mystery is the positions of the pyramids relative to each other. If you look from above, they have this shape. Does that shape have meaning?
The Great Pyramids are so much more than just tombs, and after thousands of years, a view from above will change everything we thought we knew about them.
In 1940, you have a Royal Air Force pilot flying overhead, and he notices something that had never been seen before.
It can only be seen from the air, and only at a certain time of day when shadows fall just the right way.
The pyramid sides are slightly V-shaped, with a gradual incline towards the center.
It's a breakthrough discovery from above that the four-sided pyramids are actually eight-sided.
Sometimes when you back up and have a view from above is when you can see a bigger pattern of what you have in front of you.
And it provides another clue. The shadows captured in 1940 are best visible on specific days of the year, the spring and autumn equinoxes.
Some researchers have suggested the pyramids align with the autumn equinox.
The idea is that ancient engineers trace the movement of the sun by putting a pole down and looking at how the shadow moves in an arc, and then building the three pyramids on that arc so that as the sun passes, it would go right across their pinnacles.
Once a year, on the autumn equinox, the sun is positioned in just the right place to cast the shadow from the pyramids.
That shadow falls in an almost perfect east-west alignment and reveals another feat of engineering.
The pyramids were built to absolute precision, and they've maintained that precision.
When viewed from above, that accuracy is clear. The three Great Pyramids are all aligned to the cardinal directions. Khufu's pyramid almost perfectly. The other two with a slight counterclockwise turn.
Even today, the right angles are near perfect, with less than 1 degree off after almost 5,000 years.
But recent investigations have revealed that this slight angle could be a clue to the origin of the pyramids.
You look at the burial chambers, and each one of them, the king's and the queen's, has 2 shafts leading out of it.
Some believe they were a passage for the pharaohs to ascend to the afterlife. Others that they were air shafts.
Because don't forget, Egyptians believed their pharaoh would need air in the afterlife.
But could there be another reason? In 2020, researchers sent a robot down one of the shafts to find out.
These are unique views because they're the view of a dead pharaoh, right? They're not supposed to be seen by living people. It's supposed to be the view taken by someone who's died. What's more unique than that?
After descending almost to the tunnel's end, the drone encountered a stone blocking the way.
Why was it there if the tunnel was an air shaft? No one knows.
But the size of the tunnel indicates that this was no mere air shaft. It served some other function.
Those shafts, now they're at strange angles and they kind of lead to portals on each side of the pyramid.
Why build them? And what's their purpose?
Like a lot of ancient cultures, Egyptian mythology was really preoccupied with how the stars were moving through the sky.
So what those could be are what are known as star shafts, which are pointing at specific constellations.
Could the precise orientation of the pyramids have an astronomical connection?
Every few centuries, a star from the Big Dipper lines up with a star from the Little Dipper, and if you make a line between them, it'll point directly north.
These 2 stars were well known to the Egyptians. They called them Mizar and Kocheb.
It's thought that they used these 2 stars to orient the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza.
And as subsequent generations built 2 more Great Pyramids, the stars slowly drifted out of alignment, giving them a slight counterclockwise orientation.
That alignment happened in 2467 BC. So if the research is correct, the pyramid secret has now been unlocked, because not only do we know why it was built, but when.
Khufu's grand design is revealed. The pyramids align with both sun and stars.
We've been studying the pyramids for centuries, and all this new technology, it's still unlocking their secrets.
These pyramids are probably some of the most recognizable buildings on planet Earth. And it's absolutely mind-blowing to me that we're still learning things about them, both on the inside and also the outside. All you need to do is take a slightly different perspective.
We're always told to put ourselves in other people's shoes, to understand their unique perspectives. Increasingly, that's what new technologies are allowing us to do in amazing new ways.
New technology provides a key to unlocking our planet's secrets, both ancient and modern. And new perspectives from above are helping us to solve mysteries that would otherwise remain hidden from view. On the other side of the Atlantic Ocean, in the southeastern state of Louisiana, on the banks of Lake Pontchartrain, satellite technology reveals clues to a modern mystery in the city of New Orleans. Where there was once a 21st century American city, there's water. Where there were streets, rivers. And where there were houses, only roofs can be seen.
It looks like a whole city has just been swallowed up by water.
The scale of destruction is staggering.
You can see that there's water where there should not be water.
The city, as we know it, has disappeared.
What happened? In August of 2005, New Orleans is hit by Hurricane Katrina. No one is prepared for the hurricane's destructive power.
We knew this storm was going to be bad, but we just didn't anticipate how bad.
A modern city devastated.
How could this happen?
Can satellite imagery reveal clues to help explain the disaster?
A lot of things had to go wrong for it to get this bad.
I mean, some of the water is 6 meters high.
Can developing technology help locate survivors in a now unrecognizable city?
Tens of thousands of people are stranded.
Our number 1 problem is, how do we find these people?
When Hurricane Katrina strikes, it rips through New Orleans with winds up to 280 kilometers an hour.
I was in the middle of Hurricane Katrina. It was like the entire city was in a blender.
But to a city with modern infrastructure and resources, why did it prove so destructive? Satellite photos taken in its immediate aftermath provide the first clues. 80% of the city is underwater, but the famous French Quarter is still dry. Why?
This isn't simply the result of a terrible storm.
Really, this is just the result of a series of bad decisions that start more than 300 years ago.
French colonizers create New Orleans in the 18th century, and what they do is build on what's basically little more than a great big swamp.
But why would a city be built here?
You look at that map from above, and you can see why it was such an attractive spot.
At the end of the river, the Mississippi hits the Gulf. It's a great location for a trading post.
The original settlement is built on the highest land they can find.
But as the city expands, you get some major problems.
To make room for more homes, they start draining the swamp.
See, the thing is that swamp water is keeping New Orleans up, so when you drain the water away, the whole city sinks.
This sinking puts New Orleans in a dangerous spot along the shoreline and river.
Some of the former marshland drops by more than 12 meters.
By the early 2000s, 50% of New Orleans is below sea level.
Despite being protected by a series of levees, many of these neighborhoods are overwhelmed by a storm surge when Katrina strikes in 2005.
We're seeing really high waters and flooding.
But the site of the original settlement, known as the French Quarter, is built on higher ground and escapes the flooding.
So what happened?
Why did the city's flood defenses fail? Can satellite photographs provide a clue?
Levees are essentially man-made barriers to keep a body of water inside its existing banks.
New Orleans levees have double duty. They block overflow from the Mississippi River and from Lake Pontchartrain.
The levees are supposed to be big enough and strong enough to face the worst.
But a view from above shows that these levees breached. Why? The story begins with another deadly storm, 40 years before Katrina.
In 1965, a Category 4 hurricane called Betsy floods New Orleans, causing major damage.
A new state-of-the-art levee system is created for the city, designed to keep the city safe in face of future hurricanes.
The surge is about 9 meters.
The 1965 levees are supposed to be able to take even more.
But satellite photos after Katrina reveal that the levees haven't just been overwhelmed, they've been swept away. The levee is breached in dozens of places around the city. How could this happen?
It could be as a result of bad maths or penny pinching, but what they do is to make the levee walls just too short.
Instead of driving the base at least 9 meters down, they only went about 5.
But all it takes is one big storm surge.
It creates enough pressure to drive huge amounts of ocean water to shore.
And those walls come down.
And the water comes rushing into the city.
When Katrina strikes, the city's last line of defense is torn apart.
I remember flying over that intersection that had the flames coming out of the water and just being amazed at all the destruction. The view from above when you're looking at these situations is just completely transformative. From above, you see the breadth of the disaster.
Electricity is gone, phone lines are down, people are running out of food and water.
But it's next to impossible to get to the thousands of people who need rescuing.
Why is it so hard to reach the survivors?
You look down at it. From above, you can really tell just how much the city has changed.
The floodwaters have wiped out landmarks, the roads are totally hidden. Basically, maps become useless. This isn't the middle of nowhere. This is a major city. You would fully expect a well-established rescue plan ready to go.
But the waters are too high. The roads are just gone.
Rescue vehicles can't face the waters, and it gets worse.
Even some of the rescuers are stranded. A National Guard team is sent in, but is just as trapped as everyone else.
And a lot of the rescuers are from out of town. They just have no idea where they're going.
It becomes a race against time, not only to rescue survivors, but to find them in the first place.
How is it possible to get to people trapped in the middle of a city that's basically underwater?
Can the view from above provide the vital clues that will save lives?
There's a new technology in play, and it's a game changer.
In the wake of Hurricane Katrina, thousands of rescuers arrived to help, including flight medic Ron Schroeder.
It's incredible to come into a city that you really aren't familiar with and try to find an address. There's so many issues going on. Number one, they're underwater. Number two, we're up in the air. We can't see the street signs. We don't even know the landmarks, really, of the area. And we know that the clock is ticking.
At ground level, the city has become almost featureless, but not from above.
The first piece of this puzzle falls into place a few months earlier.
In February 2005, Google releases Google Maps. Then in June, Google Earth follows.
Now, they're so familiar now, but at the time, it's totally groundbreaking technology.
It combines satellite images, aerial photography, and mapping data to make an incredibly precise picture of the world.
But how can these super accurate maps help when the ground has been erased?
We need a new perspective on this disaster.
NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, sent a pilot out to get new aerial photos of the city shortly after the hurricane.
And these are paired with new satellite data, all quickly uploaded into the Google Earth system.
Google Earth started updating daily. So we were getting very accurate information.
So how can this new technology provide the vital clues that lead to finding people on the ground?
Rescuers and helicopters are using latitude and longitude because the flooding has made street maps totally useless.
But now people trapped can call 911 and give their address or a nearby intersection.
And what Google does is to translate those addresses into coordinates. So suddenly those helicopters are able to fly to people with pinpoint accuracy.
As soon as we get the call in and we take that street address, get it to a latitude, longitude, we can take off and head straight to that location.
And that's not all.
The new aerial photos give up-to-date visual clues from the same perspective the helicopter pilots have.
When we got a report of somebody, we could put their lat long in, or we could put their street address in, and it would spit out a nice picture of the landing area that we were looking for.
It can show the color of the roof or that there's a tree fallen nearby.
When you got that picture right there in your hand and you look down and you see it, it is just ideal because we'd see this intersection, bam, that's exactly what we're looking for.
This cutting-edge solution changes everything.
To get it so clear and so definitive of the areas we were working with was a huge game changer that we didn't have before Katrina.
They saved hundreds of people with those maps. It's really amazing.
And this is not a one-off. It totally changes the future of disaster rescue.
Since Katrina, looking for clues from above has become a vital part of major search and rescue missions around the world.
After the earthquake in Haiti in 2010, Google creates a People Finder app for rescue communications.
When Hurricane Harvey hits Texas and Louisiana in 2017, rescuers use the same technology to find people.
It's just incredible when technology and emergency response can combine in this way.
It's been a serious game changer in this area.
All that mapping technology is fabulous to help you find an address when you're lost in a new neighborhood. But when there's a disaster, that same technology can mean the difference between life and death. We sort of forget how miraculous it is, but you really are getting a unique view on the world that was not visible before.
High-tech clues from above that save lives.
When I look back on Katrina, I'm really proud of what our teams were able to do. That was one of our shining moments. We felt like we were using the highest level technology and applying it to real life situations. And with that, we were able to save more people and to get out there faster to save them.
The view from above not only let us see just how extensive the damage to this community was, but it was instrumental in saving lives.
The high-tech eye in the sky is changing the way we see our world. No mystery on the planet is now too remote or inaccessible for its secrets to be unlocked by the view from above. On the other side of the world from New Orleans lies Indonesia and its fifth largest island, Java.
On the island's eastern tip, a virtually unexplored landscape is home to jungles, swamps, and volcanoes.
In this stunning place, when seen by satellite, one spot instantly stands out as both beautiful and mysterious.
It's called Kawah Ijen.
It looks like ice, but I've seen it up close. And believe me, it isn't.
Not only a crater filled with a vibrant turquoise lake, but around its rim, traces of vibrant yellow. And volcanic vents that at night burn bright blue.
This is incredible. It's otherworldly.
It looks like a blue volcano, which shouldn't exist.
Why is it found here, in this unique part of the planet?
This is not a place that belongs on Earth.
What can explain its rainbow of colors?
At first glance, it's so shockingly bright that it must be artificial, like neon lights on Broadway.
What dangerous secrets is it hiding?
It would have burned my skin right down to the bone.
The island of Java is well known for being one of the most geologically active spots on the planet.
To understand why, you really need to look down at Indonesia from above. This is the Ring of Fire, on the edge of the Pacific Ocean, where 75% of all of Earth's active volcanoes are found.
Indonesia sits on two major fault lines, so it's one of the world's most volcanic countries. In fact, the largest, loudest volcano ever recorded in history happened right here, Krakatau, 1883.
You know, when the volcano exploded, it sent this, hot plume of ash into the air. A series of increasing eruptions caused earthquakes and tsunamis, and it's estimated that over 36,000 people lost their lives.
This explosion was so loud that the sound wave circled the planet 5 times.
In the middle of Java's volcano fields, we have this one volcano with a bright blue lake.
People come from around the world to see it. It looks like a landscape from another planet.
But Kiwa Ijen is the only active volcano in the Ring of Fire that looks like it has blue lava. Why?
Looks like these fiery blue tendrils of flame creeping across the landscape, as if this hand has come up from the depths of the center of the earth and is trying to burst forth.
What is going on here? What is this? Is it really blue lava? How did I not know about this?
It looks like a toxic fire.
I've never seen anything like it. You have tons of volcanoes in this area, but only one of them has this blue lake and blue flames.
Is the lava on fire? And if so, why are the flames blue?
Where else do we see blue flames? I mean, a jet engine, maybe on your gas stovetop. So what do they have in common?
Blue flames could mean two things. Could be the result of really complete combustion, burning all the available fuel, or it could be a really high burning temperature.
So could this lava be superheated?
Lava's hot, but not this hot. Lava gets to like 1250 degrees Celsius. It's technically possible for lava to get so hot that it's blue, but you would need temperatures of like 6,000 degrees Celsius, which is not gonna happen on a volcano on our planet.
Could the color of the lake provide another clue?
There's a bright blue flames, you've got a bright blue lake. There's gotta be a connection.
Could satellite imagery hold the key to the mystery? Around the rim of the crater are traces of vibrant yellow.
Next to the volcano is a sulfur mine.
Every day, the miners hike up 2,800 meters to reach the mine and spend the day breaking up sulfur into chunks that they can carry down with them.
And it's one of the last places where sulfur is still mined by hand.
Could this be responsible for the turquoise color of the lake? Is it the result of toxic runoff from mining?
There's just one problem. If you're looking to solve the mystery of the blue volcano, this mine is the wrong color.
In fact, you can see this mine has its own color coding, yellow. So you'd assume any runoff would be the same.
If the turquoise lake and blue flames are not caused by mining activity, what is responsible?
These are really specific circumstances coming together to make this phenomenon, but we can look for those circumstances in other places.
There's just one volcano like it, or at least only one that's been discovered.
Satellite imagery provides a clue, but this time not on the island of Java. Over 8,000 kilometers west, the view from above reveals something surprising. Similar features in a vastly different landscape.
We're right at the north border of Ethiopia, in the middle of the Danakil Desert. But there's this little flash of familiar color.
Another unusual pool of water.
This place is called Dalol. It's a volcanic system feeding hydrothermal vents.
It's so hot, so arid, and so brutal that National Geographic once called it the cruelest place on Earth.
The volcanic geology matches Indonesia. This part of Ethiopia sits on 3 tectonic plates. So what can these pools in Africa reveal about the secrets of Kiwa Ijen in Indonesia?
If you test the pools we're seeing, you find hyperacidic liquid with a very high sulfur content.
And what kind of mine is next to Kiwa Ijen? Sulfur mine.
But how can yellow sulfur be responsible for a turquoise lake?
Sulfur is the chameleon of the chemical world. When it's a solid, it's yellow. When you melt it, it's blood red. And when you burn it, blue.
When you light a match, and you see that little flash of blue, and you smell that stinky, skunky smell, that's sulfur.
The lake sits on the edge of a volcanic vent. Pure molten sulfur leaches into the water.
The acid in the lake and the blue volcano both come from the same place. It's because of the high concentration of sulfur that happens here.
a closer view reveals the awe-inspiring truth. This blue lava isn't lava at all.
It's a layer of ignited sulfur.
The ignition of this sulfur, when it hits the surface, is incredibly violent, sending blue explosions 5 meters into the air. What we're seeing here is actually sulfur gas that's been pushed up to the surface and ignited by the heat of the volcano.
There is so much sulfur in the ground that it just keeps burning day and night. A volcano that's, covered in molten rock, it's misted over with this toxic burning gas. It's almost like this vision of hell.
And the volcano of Kiwa'ijin is hiding one final mystery. What is the secret of the turquoise lake? It's not on fire, but could it be just as dangerous?
It's a science fiction color, which leads me to think that it's probably toxic, maybe lethal.
In all of my explorations around the world, I've been to some pretty toxic, nasty, inhospitable places. And this sits right up near the top of the list.
You really have to get down close to find out.
I am one of the few people on planet Earth that has actually taken a small boat onto this lake. And it sounds crazy because it absolutely was crazy. I put an aluminum can into the lake water and immediately it started to bubble and hiss like bacon cooking. The metal became paper thin. I wanted to get a sample of the water, so I went out in the lake in a rubber raft. I knew the rubber would hold out, but the seams and the aluminum ores, I wasn't so sure. I got the samples, but splashed some water on my clothes and it burned right through. I had to go ashore and strip down to keep my skin from burning. I tested the water and, yep, it had a pH of 0.5. That water, it's as strong as battery acid.
What George is describing sounds definitely like sulfuric acid.
Sulfuric acid is incredibly dangerous. It's corrosive to metals. It's also corrosive to tissues like human skin. And if concentrated amounts hit skin, it can cause burns.
Sulfuric acid burns you. It's a chemical burn. It's almost worse than getting burnt by lava itself.
Extremely high concentrations of sulfur can be dangerous to human beings and lethal even, not least of which because they can displace the oxygen that we need to survive.
That bright-colored lake throws you off because you look at it and you think algae. You think, maybe it's a little bit swampy. You don't even dream that it could possibly be a bath of sulfuric acid that would kill you instantly.
It's just one of the most harsh environments I've ever encountered.
With the results from the lake, the mystery is solved. The turquoise water, blue flames, and yellow mine all come from one source: sulfur.
I've made a career out of exploring the Earth's most extreme places, and what's more extreme than a lake of sulfuric acid in the middle of an active volcano?
So I'm just really blown away by this acidic lake, which this view from above actually makes it seem super peaceful and serene, whereas if you were on the ground with it, it's just like this pit of death.
Close contact with Indonesia's blue volcano is toxic to humans, and exploration puts even the most adventurous of us at great risk. It's not the kind of place where you want to linger for very long, and I feel for the guys who work there day after day.
This is not a place that's hospitable to human life. It would not be a place you'd want to have a summer home, but it's definitely a unique place on our planet. I would definitely want to check this place out.
The really handy thing about an aerial view of a volcano is that you don't have to risk death.
And that's where this new technology can finally give us a fresh perspective. A perspective that no human eyes could ever see.
High-tech discoveries are changing what we know about the world around us, solving riddles of the ancient past, revealing nature's secrets in far-flung corners of the globe, and even unlocking some of the planet's most recent mysteries. 15,000 kilometers from the island of Java is the Pacific coastline of Southern California. A 3-hour drive inland is Salton Lake, and on its northeastern shore, the town of Bombay Beach.
It sounds great, it's got beach right in the name.
This is California. It's the place where America lets its hair down.
There's lots of water, plenty of sand, probably too much sun.
But Bombay Beach is not your typical California beach town.
When you take a closer look, there's something really weird going on here.
There's something missing.
People. It's missing people.
Where is everyone?
There is something about this place that's not quite right.
See the water, you see the land, something's happened.
What was this place?
It looks like a dystopian wasteland.
Why has it become a ghost town?
Every abandoned town has been abandoned for a reason.
Obviously, this community was thriving at one point, but certainly not anymore.
And what secrets does it hide?
What's going on?
Was there a disaster here that forced people to leave?
Bombay Beach sits on the shores of the Salton Sea, the largest lake in California.
It's next to the water. Maybe that's a clue.
Does the lake hold the key to the mystery of the ghost town? What can satellite imagery reveal?
When you move way out and look down on this area from above, you start to notice some interesting things, like right away.
The lake sits in a pretty arid spot, and there's desert on either side, to the east and west.
Why is there a lake in the middle of the desert?
I mean, it's a dry desert. Is that natural? Is it human-made?
Another feature in the landscape provides a clue.
To the north, and especially to the south, you can see this very lush farmland, and it looks totally out of place.
Why is it there?
And something 120 kilometers to the southeast, near the Colorado River, may provide an answer.
This all started in 1900. There was a huge project to basically provide water to this area so that it could be farmed. And the way they did that was to divert the nearby Colorado River into a series of irrigation channels.
And the plan worked. The problem was, it worked too well.
In 1905, the Colorado River floods, and the sheer volume of water has to go somewhere.
Water, obviously, always moves downhill to the lowest point. And in this case, that was the Salton Basin, which filled up with water from the flood.
So what we're looking at here is actually a human-made phenomenon. We made this huge lake.
It actually becomes a really important wetland, especially for migratory birds, an oasis in the middle of the desert.
And there are clues that it wasn't only birds that migrated here.
You have a welcome sign with a woman in a bathing suit water skiing. I mean, that says it right there. It's classic 1950s and 60s.
In the 1950s, the lake becomes a massive tourist destination, with resorts like Bombay Beach lining its shores.
Back in the day, 1 million visitors came here every year.
Frank Sinatra, Bing Crosby, the Beach Boys, they all came here to party. And it was pretty rockin', and upscale, too. It was considered luxury.
So how did a thriving holiday destination and desert paradise turn from this into this?
Something very weird is going on here.
This drone footage looks like it's from some post-apocalyptic Hollywood film.
So what happened?
A ghost town isn't just about empty streets and tumbleweeds. It's about memories and lives that were once lived there.
Is the fate of Bombay Beach a one-of-a-kind? Or can it tell us something more profound about the secrets of our past?
These clues to our cultural history are all around us, if you know to look for them.
Can a clue to what happened here at Bombay Beach be found 3,000 kilometers away in northeastern Ohio?
What used to be here? Why was all this cement laid down? What used to be built on this spot?
What it looks like are the remnants of some kind of dismantled industrial complex.
Looking at it now, you'd be hard-pressed to say what it was.
Unless decades ago you were a thrill seeker looking for entertainment in Ohio. Welcome to all that remains of Geauga Lake Amusement Park.
Chances are that if you're a certain age and you grew up in this part of the world, you've been here.
In its heyday, Geauga Lake was more popular than Bombay Beach in California, with over 3 million visitors a year.
It looks like at some point this would have been a great place to bring the family and the kids. People would come from miles around to spend the weekend and have fun.
It even had a Ferris wheel called the Americana.
You can still almost taste the candy floss.
Archaeologists today examine the ruins of places like the Colosseum. But in 2,000 years' time, they'll be digging up something like this. Back then, in Roman times, we were entertained by gladiators killing one another. Now, we like to get our kicks being scared stiff on a roller coaster.
But after providing Ohioans with entertainment for over 100 years, crowds begin to dwindle, attendance declines, and in 2007, the amusement park shuts its gates for good. And Geauga Lake isn't a one-off. Across the United States, there are hundreds of abandoned amusement parks, hiding in plain sight.
There's something haunting about the idea of what this planet would look like if we just left. And when you look at these abandoned places, you get a hint about the answer to that question.
Did the same thing happen here at Bombay Beach? Did the tourists simply stop coming?
Did it just not provide what they wanted and they moved somewhere else? Or was there something that made them aggressively have to go?
Does the lake provide a clue, not only to why people came to Bombay Beach in the first place, but why they ended up leaving it for good?
Fishing, boating, water skiing, this lake had it all.
But now the lake is untouched. Not only that, around its shores, the skeletons of dead fish litter the beach.
What would have caused that?
This used to be a wildlife refuge, but then the fish died off. And with no fish, there's nothing for the birds to eat.
You have to wonder what's in it to kill everything. It's a total shocker. This water's dead.
A satellite view once again provides the answer. Irrigation of the desert created the Salton Sea in the first place, and it also killed it.
Water runoff from the surrounding farms was a gift and a curse because the water kept coming in, so it kept the water level up. But whenever the water came in, it brought salt with it, and there was no outflow. It just evaporated, and that made the lake get saltier and saltier and saltier. Add that to the pollution and the runoff from pesticides, and essentially it's dead. It's too toxic for wildlife, and it's too toxic for humans.
Just as quickly as it had appeared, the resort town was abandoned.
You might never have heard of this place, but whether you know it or not, it's part of our collective memory, a slice of the American way of life.
Places like these aren't far away or hard to reach. They're often right in our backyards. Forgotten, abandoned, but still utterly familiar.
California's jet set may never return to Bombay Beach, but this ghost town is showing signs of rising from the dead.
This place is supposed to be basically dead, but now you're starting to see this strange phenomenon.
For the first time in a long time, something new is happening.
The strange landscape, steeped in history and change, has been embraced by artists who have rediscovered it and now use it as their canvas.
It really is kind of beautiful. I mean, this place that everybody had just abandoned is suddenly getting this vibrant second life.
With new technology, we can see our planet from a new perspective and rediscover places we thought lost forever.
Viewing things from above just gives us a different vantage point. And I always think of history as good detective work. The more we learn, the more information that we get, the better we'll understand.
Like in a farmer's field that was once a drive-in movie theater for locals.
Park your car, settle down, get out the snacks, wait for the sun to set, and enjoy the show.
Or in the Pennsylvania woods, the outline of a speedway track.
I'm sure at one point, this was a very loud place with engines roaring, but now it's sitting completely silent.
It's not just ancient civilizations that we're discovering out there. It's our own.
And when you change your perspective, you realize that this really is living history, and we're surrounded by it.
These are really important places that carry with them vivid memories for a lot of people.
Finding ghost towns like this help us rediscover something fundamental about human nature. Towns like these rise and fall just like nations, and along with them, human beings are forced to change, and that is core to what human beings do. We adapt to the change that our environment forces on us.
I think it's always interesting when we do these views from above, especially of things that are pretty recent in our history. It reminds us that everything that we are building, everything that we are experiencing in the now, will become a part of history.
From the ancient pyramids of Giza to the flooded city of New Orleans, the turquoise volcano of Java, and the abandoned beach resort of California, a view from above can reveal some of the planet's most incredible secrets and unlock its mysteries wherever they may be found.